What if 1947 never happened? What if India and Pakistan never split into two nations? Would the subcontinent be richer, stronger, and more peaceful? Or would it be trapped in a cycle of endless conflict? This is one of history's greatest what-ifs. A question that reshaped the destinies of over 400 million people at the time. Today, the population of South Asia exceeds 1.7 billion. Imagine all of them living under a single flag. But could such a united nation survive? Or would it simply collapse under its own weight? Before 1947, the land we now know as India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh was a single entity under British rule. It was proudly called the jewel in the crown of the British Empire. But beneath this veneer of unity, deep-seated tensions were brewing. Hindus, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, all coexisted, yet their political leaders had vastly different ideas about what freedom should look like. The Indian National Congress, led by figures like Nehru and Gandhi, championed the cause of a single, unified, independent India. On the other side, the Muslim League, under the leadership of Muhammad Ali Jinnah, harbored a significant fear that in a Hindu-majority country, the voices and rights of Muslims would be systematically ignored. This fear led them to demand a separate homeland, a nation where Muslims could shape their own destiny. They called it Pakistan. This fundamental clash of visions set the stage for partition. When the British finally left, they drew a line on a map, and what followed was chaos. Millions were forced to cross newly created borders, leaving behind their homes, their histories, and their friends. The ensuing violence was catastrophic, claiming anywhere from 200,000 to over 1 million lives. It became one of the largest and most tragic forced migrations in human history. But let's pause and rewind. What if the leaders had found a middle ground? What if a compromise had been reached and partition was averted? What would this united India look like today? First, let's talk about sheer scale. This nation would be colossal, stretching from the towering Himalayas in the north to the warm waters of the Arabian Sea. It would encompass the vast deserts of Rajasthan and the lush tea plantations of what is now Bangladesh. The numbers are staggering. A combined population of over 1.7 billion people, more than modern-day China, an economy with a combined GDP of over $5 trillion, and a military powerhouse, combining the forces of both nations, possessing nuclear weapons, and an active duty force of over 4 million soldiers. This united state could easily have been the world's largest democracy, a true global superpower, or it could have become a fractured giant, constantly at war with itself, struggling to manage the countless different voices and demands within its borders. One thing is undeniable: the cultural landscape would be incredibly rich and diverse. Imagine Bollywood and Lollywood, the film industries of India and Pakistan, merging into a single, dominant entertainment force. We could have seen legendary actors from both sides, sharing the same screen, creating a cinematic universe unlike any other. And cricket, the sport that ignites passion across the subcontinent, would be a unifier, not a source of rivalry. Can you imagine a single cricket team with Sachin Tendulkar, Imran Khan, Virat Kohli, and Wasim Akram playing together? They would be absolutely unstoppable. In 1947, while Hindus formed the majority, Muslims made up about a quarter of the population. That's over 100 million people. Could a single government have truly satisfied everyone? Or would the inevitable power struggles lead to perpetual unrest and conflict? Some historians argue that communal riots would have been unavoidable, partition or not. Others believe that strong, inclusive leadership could have maintained unity, pointing to examples like Indonesia, a diverse Muslim-majority nation that has managed to hold together various religious and ethnic groups. So, would this united India have been a beacon of peace or a hotbed of chaos? Since 1947, India and Pakistan have fought 3 major wars and engaged in numerous smaller conflicts, with the beautiful and contested region of Kashmir at the heart of their dispute. But in a united India, would Kashmir even be an issue? With no borders to fight over? Perhaps not. The bloody 1971 war that led to the creation of Bangladesh might also have been avoided, as both East and West Pakistan would have been part of the same larger Indian state. Think of the resources saved, the billions of dollars spent on weapons and military build-ups could have been invested in schools, hospitals, and infrastructure, lifting millions out of poverty. But there's a flip side. A united nuclear-armed India might have been perceived as a major threat by its neighbors, especially China. Could this have triggered even larger, more devastating conflicts in Asia? It's a sobering thought. Now, let's look at the economy. Today, India is a global leader in IT and services. Pakistan has strong textile and agricultural sectors, and Bangladesh is a powerhouse in clothing manufacturing. Combine these strengths, and you get an economic juggernaut capable of dominating global trade. Imagine a united India controlling key shipping lanes in the Indian Ocean, with major ports and a workforce of over 1 billion people. It would be a formidable rival to both the United States and China. But for a large economy to thrive, it needs stability. Could a single government have effectively managed issues like poverty, regional inequality, and corruption across such a vast and diverse territory? Or would the entire system have eventually buckled under the immense pressure? For the average person, no partition would have meant no divided families. The millions of people who were separated in 1947 would have remained in their ancestral homes. There would be no restrictive visa policies between Lahore and Delhi. A train journey from Karachi to Kolkata would be as routine as a flight from New York to Los Angeles. Think of all the friendships, marriages, and opportunities that were lost forever because of that line drawn on a map. Life would feel more open, more connected. But again, we have to ask, could this unity have survived the relentless pressures of identity politics? So, what is the final picture of this alternate reality? A superpower stronger than China? A cultural giant that influences the entire globe? Or a fragile nation, perpetually on the brink of breaking apart under the weight of its own diversity? History chose its path. Partition happened. It brought immeasurable suffering, displacement, and decades of bitter rivalry. But exploring this what if forces us to think. It helps us appreciate not just what might have been gained, but also what could have been lost. The decisions made in 1947 shaped millions of lives and continue to define South Asia today. History cannot be rewritten, but it can teach us valuable lessons. Maybe the real question isn't about erasing the past, but about building a better future. What if the next generation in India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh chose to build bridges of cooperation, trade, and friendship? Would that finally bring the lasting peace that partition failed to deliver? Thank you so much for watching. If you found this journey through history interesting, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the what ifs that shape our world. We'll see you in the next one.